Hello, everyone. Hope you're doing well tonight. I hope you're out there. Um, it looks like I'm on two platforms so far, and let's see if I'm on the third one as well. It looks like I am on all three. Just want to make sure. Yes, all three. Okay, just wanted to stream a little about Pigman before I get to work. Um, one second, guys. I just want to see something quick here. Okay. Okay. I just wanted to show Pigman's early look for those who might be interested, for those who backed it, for those who are on the fence. This was the early look of Pigman. Um, there were two. I don't know if this one came before the next one I'm going to show you. But this is the general idea: a big, bulky bruiser, relatively fat, with a big wide waist at least. And the American flag is a belt buckle. As you can see, it was a lot smaller back then. We're talking after 9/11. I don't know how long after, but this was it. And it was just a fun looking design. And the ears were very different. But again, it's just a doodle. It's something that I just doodled out, but I like it. It had a little charm about it. And the flat top, the ears going out that way. That was interesting as well. And then here's something that is a little more embarrassing because of the color of the mask and gloves, but you got to start somewhere. So here was, uh, if you've been listening and watching me for a little while, you know about the ad that I had at the San Diego Comic Con in 2005. It was a few years after 9/11. I was getting my mind wrapped around the story, what it would take, what would it look like, and so I wanted to advertise it as I was selling my relatively new comic at that point, about a year old, Two for One, my first book, which was nominated for an Eisner and the Russ Mann Most Promising Newcomer Award. And of course, I had the dumb idea to give him a pink mask and a pink gloves, and it just didn't work. And the small belt buckle didn't work. And he had a full black crimson suit, as you could tell, but the wrists remained the same, the short gloves remained the same, the general basis. And but Jay had it. He has Jay had it. I mean, I don't think it worked, but you got to start somewhere. And on one side, the question was on his sheet: when will comics take on jihad? And then you flip it, and you see Pigman flying. When Pigman flies, on the trope, on the old thing, when pigs fly. So I thought that was pretty funny. But of course, it was not long after this, when I was designing, when I really stepped back and started thinking, okay, I don't want that goddamn pink. He had a black mask at times also, which could be like a stealth suit, like an alternative suit at times. I mean, that's not out of the picture even now. I could do like a stealth suit, all black. I could do that as well. Um, like camouflage, or as I wrote this one cartoon, camouflage, which is Islam means peace. That's a verbal camouflage. But anyway, did that, and then I had that eureka moment not long after, where it was the pigskin leather. I love the look, the rust look, and also the just the design of it and the quality of it. It looks a little almost like suede. It has a little look, feel like that. And he's hovering here over a mosque. When will comics take on jihad? When Pigman flies. But I do still like this one. This one held up pretty much better than this one, actually, over the years. This one held up better because it's more of what ended up being the design, more or less. Big, wide, barrel chested and stomached. With these big mitts. And looking at maybe the thing that inspired it, I don't know for sure, but it's possible. When you had Matt Murdock in Daredevil Born Again, with those short gloves, the winter gloves that he had more or less, with that blue bubble coat or whatever you call that for the winter. And he had the short gloves, and there was something about that I liked instead of the long superhero gloves that I don't really care for. I thought I like that look, a short look, and the ears ended up being a lot shorter, as you'll see in the actual story. Those of you who've ordered it, give me 1 second. I'm going to go to pull up the campaign to just show you the contrast between the two, um, back and forth between the two. So yeah, guys, it's 2 days left to back Pigman until it goes into the secondary market. Um, I don't think I have to advise you to get it now if you're on the fence. You want it now because again, it will take on a heavier price, a higher price, whether it's on my own website or anyone else who wants to sell theirs, which will be the case. I mean, and it's the first comic book of mine that's called just simply Pigman. It used to be called The Infidel featuring Pigman. Now it's called Pigman, and that's it. And it'll be a remastered version, better than the original, of a higher quality, more pages, better art, just a better quality. The story more or less the same, but maybe some dialogue here and there. Might make some changes. There's a scene where I'm already making changes. It's about the comic book panel discussion. Um, I I'm spreading it to at least two more because there's one page that's packed with dialogue. I have to basically put that into 2 pages. With no problem. I don't think. I just don't want it to be overwhelm the reader with too much dialogue um, on a page. It's. I think it makes people brace themselves a little. Personally speaking, if I know the writer's good, I don't care. Even some of the Sin City comics that Frank Miller wrote, I think in particular, that Yellow Bastard, where one of the works, the senator, I think, is giving a speech to Hardigan, and it's just pounded with dialogue. To me, it's okay because dialogue's good. It's threatening Hardigan and what's going to happen to him. Um, so yeah, guys, if you want to chime in, I would appreciate. Or this will just be a short stream. I can talk on my own, but I just want to make sure that you guys are engaged here as well. I would appreciate it. Let me know. Um, so yeah, this is it. Let me see if I can play this. Let me see if I can play this, and let me make myself a lot smaller in the corner. Thank you guys for indulging me. I appreciate it. Um, hey, John, having a great night. Thank you. Thanks a lot, David. I appreciate it. You back to stealth cover at Table for One. Over 2 orders. I can't wait to get and read them. Thanks, Bosh. Thanks a lot, John. Sorry, David. I appreciate it. And thanks, John, as well. Hope you guys doing well. I just I always check to see what's being played here, and it seems like this is not cutting it. This broadcast is not available on X. That sucks. That's where I get most of my views. Unfortunately, YouTube, very little views because of my new channel. It's very small. It says no views. Facebook, I guess it's on. It looks like that's on. I got 3 views. This is terrible. It is Saturday night, maybe. I mean, people are out. Who knows? Um, yeah, he really did, John. Shamp did a great job with the trailer. He was very generous about it, and I just wanted to show my appreciation by getting the spring ball drawing, and I still owe him the final drawing. I got to say, I've been reminding myself for a little while. I just haven't made the time. I should. I know. Believe me. I feel bad about it. I saw that the Shanth was streaming today also. I was just a little preoccupied. I would have definitely chimed in. But no, no, John. I tried again. Um, I tried again. I don't know. I just I had to figure that out. It's a strange thing. It really is. Give me 1 second, guys. I just have to see something quick. I'm sorry, 1 second. Let me just see something here quick, and I will get going. I just gotta. Yeah. I try to get the streaming key from Rumble and place it in my platform where I place the Facebook and X and YouTube things, and no matter what I do, it doesn't work. And Anna, the Star Wars girl, gave me a little tip. I used it and it still didn't go through. I think it's on me. Something I'm clearly not doing because I want to get it on all 4 platforms. And if I can get it on more, I think what do you call it has it as well? Getter. I got like 4,000 followers there, but I don't know. There's no engagement. I'll try to stream there. I don't know how to do it from here though. I don't know how to attach it from here into my my streaming platform. I don't know. But yeah, guys, I just want to pop in for a bit and just show you those first images of Pigman. Um, Again, I think that one was pretty charming. The one, 1 second. This one, you know, it's a very early look of Pigman. I don't know how early. I know it was right after 9/11. I started thinking about my anti-jihad character, and then ultimately Pigman, and then I started designing him. I don't know how early into the process this was. Um, okay, thanks, John. Appreciate it. I was wondering why you hadn't been streaming. Yeah, I just the damn channel, and again, it's I had a backup channel already that was hundreds of followers as well. I had the other one almost 2,000 followers, and then I think the culprit was the mass emails. I think that's the only thing I can remember because once I did a mass email, I got my old account disabled, and then I did a mass email with my backup account, with my Oink Comics account, and that was disabled. Let's just say I'm not doing any more mass emails from that particular platform. No more. I have a new Proton email. They can have, a good number of mass email options, and I'm mainly going to be contacting um, backers mainly, and you guys will get to see the new cover prior to anyone else. I'm gonna send it your way Monday early, and then I'll debut it, publicly on I guess Kings, and then after that. But you guys will see those who backed it will see the new closeout cover before anyone else does. I just want to thank you guys, and also again, guys, those of you who ordered all the covers and who also ordered I Want It All tiers rewards, you will get, even if you ordered them when it was only 3 covers or 4 covers actually, will still get all 7 covers for no extra charge. That's just to honor you guys who were there at the outset. It's just to show my appreciation. I don't know any old which way to say that except thank you. And you guys get basically $100 worth of comics just for having been there at the start, and you can sell those. I mean, you don't have to have them all. and I hope you can make money on the secondary market. I know that Prop Piganda, my book, my collection of cartoons, individual cartoons that I did, um, sold for hundreds and hundreds of dollars on eBay and also on Amazon. I'm surprised, but it is the first print appearance of Pigman. So, hey, John, I mean, you guys have been great. You say I'm too good to, you're too good to us, Bosch. So thanks so much. You guys are great, and you guys have been. Again, I wouldn't have been even. You look at my campaign, look at others. Yeah, it's a lot smaller, but I don't think I would have got to this without Confiscate. I wouldn't have on my own. I don't think so. I just don't. You know, um, I've been able to make my living off my work for years now. 20 years. I haven't had to do a backup job at all. Um, doing cartooning, doing political cartoons, articles, comic books, and so on. And I did my 7 books as well. I did all that. But for this comic, I mean, I got some good eyeballs on there. So yeah, if you guys did do that, that's yours. And again, I've never had more than one cover for any of my comics, so this is a whole new thing for me as well. And people seem to like the idea of getting alternate covers. This one's a little more involved, a little more complicated, the new one, but I think it's pretty dramatic. It's packed. I'll just say that. A lot of stuff's going on, and I'm not trying to make it overly busy. I'm just trying to basically uh, give hints of the story. Just there's like some photos of the brothers when they're young and when they're close, got their arms around each other. They're drawing together because they both used to draw. Both Killian and Salam both used to draw. They both have a talent for it. And eventually, Salam just gave it up. He gave up his own talent. He gave up his own life in a lot of ways. Um, a man called Plush. Hey, Plush. That next campaign, I most definitely grab a shirt. Subtle yet insanely vocal symbol. Thanks, man. Seeing Frank, is it? Open his jacket. I've drawn that. You know what? I'm going to go through some images now of propaganda. Actually, I'm going to show you some early designs. Jean, did you reach out to EVS or Shane to get a little help with the closeout tomorrow? The closeout is Monday, and people are doing their own thing, I guess. I did send feelers out there. I haven't gotten anything back, but I'm gonna stream anyway, and hopefully, once I mention it on Kings, it'll make an impact and also show the cover, debut it publicly on the stream after I send the backers emails of it. I think that'll be a good way to do it. So, you know, and again, I gotta say this also for all the appreciation that I have for Ethan and these guys willing to be associated with me. It's not an easy thing. I'm well aware of it. There's only so much I can expect or ask for. I'm lucky to be part of Kings. I'm lucky to be part of that channel. I'm lucky to be part of the Kings, X chat room and all that. And so I don't like to push it too much. If they're willing to do it, absolutely. I mean, I'll take them up on it. If I can pop on maybe Kings on Monday after Kings, great. I'll try to make my pitch, but even so, I'll just do it on my own. I mean, that's just the way it is. I'm going to show you guys some images because this is about yeah. Monday, I thought it would be best because again, I don't think I'm going to get. And I've seen how some of these closeouts and launches go sometimes when people have plans. I don't make any concrete plan unless unless it's short notice because I know how things go. People have their lives; they're living their lives, doing their thing, and sometimes they forget and so on. So I know that at least probably 99.9% uh, the King's audience will be there, and I can let it be known that it's the closeout. Here's the cover, and hopefully, I have a strong close. I have a certain thing in mind, like what can happen, and I hope that's the case. I really do. I know. I'm not, They do, John. But again, I also don't like to. They deal with enough shit as it is. I don't want to, I'm lucky to be in the position that I am, and I don't want to impose. I don't want to get them in danger as well. You know what I mean? Yeah, I am doing Katie's Good Morning Comicsgate show, John. I'm going to be streaming myself early in the day, very early in the day Monday, and then go to Katie's, and then stream after Katie's, and then have to go do something, come back in the afternoon, stream, and then do Kings, and then hopefully Kings. And maybe even after that, until I collapse. I mean, that's just, um, I'm going to try to have the strongest closeout. I'm going to try to have as strong a closeout as I had an opening. The opening was good. I mean, I was able to muster about 5,000 on my own prior to jumping on Ethan's stream, and that led me to another four to 5,000. And within a few days, I went to 12,000. So that was good. And then I've been able to basically get about 10,000, 10 actually about 12,000 cents, which is pretty damn good on my own. And then let's see, let's see. I just want to make it clear that this is the closeout on Monday. And I found out after the fact that I believe Ethan is also closing out the Cyberfrog prequels, which I didn't know. I feel bad about that, but I don't want to get in anyone's way. You know, I didn't know that he was doing it. It's a lack of communication. Maybe I did give him a heads up a little while back to say, hey, I'll be closing at this point. Hey, Art. I understand Art says, I understand your hesitancy to ask for help, but the Kings understand what they're getting themselves into and are willing to help. Plenty of them have strong thoughts on Islam themselves. I know. Um, I know. And I know that Ethan in particular is a little more. The fact is that Ethan, invited me on to be a Commissary King. That was his call. That was his move. He initiated that. Whether he consulted with them, I don't know. I just know that when I got that message, I was like, I'm honored, guys. I don't know what to say. It was awesome. And again, I'm gonna do what I'm gonna do, and if I can pop on anyone's show or give them a super chat just to remind people, even tonight or tomorrow, or because sometimes Kangs is up in the air. You get only a few individuals. You don't get invited. Sometimes that happens, and if so, I'll send a super chat. Just as a reminder to everyone, hey, there's a closeout. John says Ethan would be more annoyed if he doesn't get a chance to help. I understand, but I did send word out that I'm closing, and that's up to them if they want to respond. I don't want to. Is that right, David O? Okay. Okay. Thanks for letting me know. That's great to hear, because then I'll definitely pop on and support Ethan and mention my closeout is Monday. That's great. Thanks a lot. If you know that for sure, that's. Art says, true, John. He gets mad when someone opens or closes without help. He's like, I'm right here. I know, but at the same time, um, he falls asleep. He forgets. Again, the guy's got his own life, and I'd love to get the backing. The support. I'd love to. And again, I'm gonna send super chats and maybe try to pop on. Again, Ethan invites everyone tomorrow. I'll definitely go there support. I'm always there. If you notice, guys, for the last year, I've been there for every launch and closeout. That's part of the deal here. I got, grab an oar. Absolutely, I'm there for hours on end. I support the books. I back them, and I'm there for them. So I think it's important. But again, I will ask me one more time. Okay, that's great. That's great to hear, David, because I didn't want to get in his way. Not that, look, he's gonna have he has no problem with his audience. I just didn't want to impose on it in any way, and I don't want to give people a choice. Like, okay, which one are you getting back today? I don't think people have the money to just blow up like that. I just don't think so. So that's cool. That's good to know. Yeah, so I'll just mention it definitely on Monday. In the meantime, guys, I want to show you, because this is about the early look of Pigman, and I have my book prop Piganda, which is a collection of a lot of drawings of Pigman and Killian and Salam prior to the comic coming out. So I'm going to pull that here. I'm going to try to do something. Let's see if it works. Let's see if it works. I think it might. Let's see. If I do this, I'm going to try to create a PDF and use that. And that should do it. Okay. Where is it? Give me a minute, guys. Usually that just happens automatically. Huh. That's strange. Give me a second. I'll try it one more time. And if that doesn't work, I'm going to try something else. I don't know. But since that's not working, I'm going to just show you some images here that I will pull from there. That's it. I'll just pop them up from the actual file, from Propaganda, like this one. This was an early image in Propaganda. It's showing the 4 main characters. This is an early drawing of the main characters. Give me a second. Thanks for indulging me here, guys. Okay. Oops. What the hell? Okay. What's going on here? Okay. Okay. So this is Killian Duke, Salam Duca, cold blue, cold-blooded, green, Muhammad's favorite color. The prayer scar that Muslims have, Muslims who try to prove that their harder prayers, they pray harder than their next guy, than the next Muslim. That's what they do. They build this little scar, a prayer scar, and it gets thicker and uglier and browner. And it's a bump. Some call it prayer bump, prayer scar. I think prayer scar fits better because they're scarred by Islam. So that's, it's a warm colors here. If you notice, the main hero is Killian Duke and Pigman, and cold colors here. At least I try to make it look that way. So that's one of the images. This was a cover. This was the original cover to issue 2, which I slightly changed. The facial hair was a little different. Ended up being different, but I call it a duel with the brothers. It's a duel. That's a pun, clearly, but that's the idea. It's dualism. And in this image, I had the twin brothers, the twin towers, the 2-headed Albanian eagle, and within close, you can't see it here as much as on the cover, but it is Pigman within a shadow of Killian and Super Jihad within a shadow of Salam. And I thought that was a pretty good way to visualize it. And you get to see here the different. They are twins. He has a little facial hair, and he has green eyes and he has blue eyes. So that's another image there. And then a little fun here with Jack Bauer, the great counter jihad hero of the 24 series, where Pigman is on the phone. He goes, "Can't help you, can't bail you out 24/7, Jack. Tough it out." Jack Bauer's asking Pigman for help. Flatey, cheers. Art says, quite a few kings critique Islam. Billy is as harsh as you, at least. Vasilis drew Muhammad way back. Excellent. I got to see Vasilis and Muhammad. That is awesome. He never showed me. I'm always more than willing to show Muhammad. That's great to hear. Vasilis wrote something pretty cool today. Also, I just reposted it. Pretty good stuff about comics, and also, this idea here. What's going on here? It says creating PDF takes about another minute. I guess because of the large file size. That's exactly right. Yeah. That's why. You know what? To hell with it. I'm going to cancel that. Let me go here and pull this up and see what else I got here. Enter the Dragon, right? Why isn't this? And Enter the Dragon, Bruce Lee. Well, in this case, have some fun with these posters, right? Enter the Pig. He's going into the rat cave, as he calls it. It does look wild, John. The Saturn head. Hey, Roll. How's it going? Finally got a notification. YouTube actually unsubscribed me. Only the second time I've seen that happen in real life. They really hate you, Bosh. LOL. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I'm so used to it now that I used to get these little sharp burns in my heart when I was like, I build a big platform, like 20,000, 15, and it gets stripped from me. And it's like, oh, because that's what you rely on it. I have no other platforms really. And now it's like, oh, okay. Oh, that just happened again. Okay. I lost over 20,000 followers across platforms in the last few years. It sucks. You earn those numbers, you earn those supporters and those followers. And it's not good, man. It's not good. This is another one. America Akbar. Pigman used American flag as a weapon. These are from Propaganda, guys. This is the book that you'll be getting. It's a play on clearly propaganda. And it's still not propaganda. I don't. Here's super jihad, an early form of super jihad, with the idea here, at least, was the idea that, the angel and devil on shoulders. Well, this devil killed the other angel, and it's only him left, and that's Muhammad. So he has Muhammad on his shoulder, advising him, tell him to do this and not to do that, and so on. Let's see what else here. This was the Pentagon. We tend to forget, and that includes me, of the attack on the Pentagon as well, because it's a government building. So I think we don't take it as serious. But there were 184 human beings who were slaughtered in that attack, and I know the truthers, meaning the liars, who talk about Building 7 and all that, don't believe it happened. Fuck you. That's all I have to say to them. Tell it to the bereaved. So Pigman does have a scarred Pentagon on his shoulder to acknowledge the Americans who did work, the ones who a Pentagon is actually a legitimate form of government. It's there. It should be there at least to protect us. Everyone's and they should be there to protect us. Whether they do or not at times, that's questionable. But it's a legitimate part of our government. So I wanted to acknowledge that within this. I guess a PDF. Huh. Okay. It came up even though I deleted it. What the hell? Well, that's pretty cool. Okay. So let's see. Let's see what we got here. Interesting. I can make it smaller and just pull up the pages as we go. And I don't want to show everything because I don't want to, especially for those who ordered, I don't think you want me to reveal all the stuff, but I want to go through a number of them. This was my acknowledgement in the opening. This is to the general idea that I was working with in terms of the work that I do. I said, to those who say what must be said, they lead the way for those who will do what must be done. There's a double form of defense. It's the truth tellers, the intellectuals, those who say the truth, and then those who act on it, meaning our military. Ultimately, that's what has to happen. We can't just allow our military to go there half cocked and okay, guys, good luck, and not tell them the truth, deny them the truth, and also not just that, but lie to them. Have liars like Muslims and CARE going to military, our soldiers, and lying to them about what Islam means and tell them, oh, these are just a small minority of extremists. This was something here also I did, which an objectivist was offended by, which I thought was funny. Um, if you read Ayn Rand's Fountainhead, this is Howard Rourke, but, he's Howard Pork. And I think it's funny. Flatey One says YouTube is a functional necessity, but man, they really do play a dirty game. They do, and they need more than anything. They need a serious competitor. They need a Burger King to their McDonald's. They need, I don't know, I mean, what like HBO and Disney Plus and all these Hulu. They need a serious competitor. Rumble has yet to be that. I know they're trying to make it so. I know the big channels are getting some good stuff, like Crowder and stuff, but it's still a real struggle. They need to get their ass kicked competitively, so they won't fuck around the way they do, because they believe they are a monopoly. In a lot of ways, they act like one. Um, it's a big deal, and that's why people tell me, "Hey, give up on YouTube." I can't afford to. That's where everyone is. That's where the place is. I'm not going to pretend. It's like, again, if I get Netflix to watch a show that I want to watch, like let's say One Piece, the fun pirate uh, series based on the anime and the manga, whatever, right? I I will get that. I will watch Cobra Kai, right? And then I'll be told, hey, they did Cuties. Like, okay, I know. I don't like that. I would never watch Cuties, but at the same time, it's like, what am I gonna do? I want to see certain things. That's it. And my integrity is not on the line. My manhood is not on the line because I do that. Not at all. I don't see it that way. Hey Hamilton, how's it going, man? Phantom Slop says, love the content, man. Can't wait for the book. Thank you very much, man. Appreciate it. Phantom Slop. That's a funny name. Um, John says, in the remastered, new, and improved release of Pigman, are there many changes from the original version? There are. I mean, if you paid close attention, yes. But at the same time, there will be some extra pages as well. And I'm still going through it. I'm still going through the actual pages because I want to make sure it's still cohesive. I don't want to make changes that really knock it off kilter. But as I said, like the one dialogue heavy page that I have in the comic book convention, I'm splitting that into two pages. Even I had a friend of mine. We got into not an argument, but he loved Ditko. I love Ditko too, but that was his main guy, and my main guys are writing Frank Miller, drawing Alex Toth in terms of comic book writer Frank Miller, artist, but my overall great favorite comic book artist of all time, and who I think objectively is the greatest. And that's, I know we can get into an argument about that, but there's a certain standard that you have to meet. And he met them all and surpassed it. And when at his best, he's the best. At his best, he's the best. So yeah, the dialogue scenes. My friend was like, I said, told Ditko's dialogue, it was too bang over the head. It was not. He goes, yeah, but you look at your dialogue. I said, yeah. I said, I get a lot of dialogue, especially his talking scenes, but that's part of the whole thing. But I do think that I could have spread it out a little more. So things like that I will do. Seeing Pigman fly the first time is being more dramatic than it was in the original one. It'll be more dramatic. I'll just say that, John. So there'll be added pages, added panels, combined panels. There'll be cleaned up dialogue at times, but not as much as I thought I would be doing, because my handwritten lettering is good. I just didn't want to be there for 12 hours a day and with a real hard cramps after that. As simple as that. And it's faster. And I'm a one man show, so what am I going to do? Absolutely. Yeah, John, I do intend to begin the fulfillment at the end of next month. So to give myself enough time, because again, I'm doing this other project as well, and I'm doing a few other things, but it's not the only thing that I'm doing right now in terms of a job that I have. But absolutely, making the absolute best version you can. We are a patient bunch and appreciate the effort. Absolutely, John. Thank you, John. You've been nothing but very generous with this, so I always appreciate your support. Thank you so much, man. Okay, thanks. I appreciate that, man. Huh. Okay, I will check that out. Thanks. Yeah, I just wanted to make sure because I intended to end it in July, mid July, and late July. I fulfill soon after. And I've been trying to close, and I think some of the kings were launching, some of the kings were closing, and I was asked actually, can we switch? I said, sure, and a few weeks have gone by, and I've asked for, if people can close out for me, and I haven't heard back. That's why I say, I don't want to. There's only so many times I want to bother people with mentioning it. I don't want to ask them 2 or 3 times. I don't want to do that. I don't want to be um, a bother. If they can do it, great. And it has to be some also from their perspective. It has to be some form of they wouldn't mind doing it at all. Pigman in the kingdom to crack skulls. Here he is in Saudi Arabia with the savages. And I'm just going to go through a few more, and then that's it because I don't want to give away too much. But this is the bath party in Iraq, like the bath party they called it. It's like a terrorist party more or less. And waterboarding, I slashed it, called it the bath party. Put their heads in toilets, and his last word, Allah. You know, he's bubbling those words out. Um, and that's it, really. I think this is fun. It's like we have to dialogue with the enemy. It's like, oh, okay, let's dialogue. No, Allah. It's dialogue, all right. And this guy is porked. This fucker is porked. You know, this was a one that I liked a lot, actually. Throw them into the fire they started. Throw them into the fire store. And someone who mentioned seeing Frank in his Superman form, there's Frank Warner busting out of the crescent. It's falling off. And with his symbol, dot, 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 and the American way. Hey, Mikey. How's it going, man? Hill Bosch, I'll let Chance chat know that you had a new channel because they missed you. Thanks, man. Also, Chance said he's down to stream with you on the closeout. Thank you very much. I'll you guys together. I love Chance. I think Chance is great. He's as enthusiastic as anyone about comics, and it's infectious. I mean, you feel yourself clearly about your own comics, but he can really he knows his stuff, and he's damn good at what he does. So it's awesome. And the contrast between the two books that he has out, that's pretty incredible. That's pretty damn incredible. That's a rare thing because usually people have just one style, and those are clearly two different styles right there. So it's very impressive, man. Very impressive. Here's Pigman entering the rat cave, and if you notice, that's it's an echo. It's his silhouette, his head, and with his chest symbol with the twin towers on there. So it's that as well. I like doing stuff like that. His shadow here becomes the towers. His shadow becomes the towers there. And then I was going to show no more drawings, but I'm going to show. I did this a while back. Islam versus peace. We are at the obscene phase in this war where merely mentioning the connection between Islam and terrorism is seen as worse than the connection itself. It's absolutely true. If Islam is a dove, why are its feathers so easily ruffled when someone says otherwise? Now, this was these, you can call them aphorisms, you can call them just little short messages that I used to post on social media, on old Twitter, on Facebook. And I said, from Allahu Akbar to Banzai to Heil Hitler, and back to Allahu Akbar, meaning 1,400 years old, right? This is enemy at language. Allahu Akbar to Banzai to Heil Hitler, back to Allahu Akbar. That's the danger, you know. And Islam means peace, and Kaiser Soze means verbal kint. If you know Usual Suspects, you'll get the reference. And this is the thing. It's hundreds of these phrases, right, that I wrote over the years. And John Nolte at Breitbart, which is big Hollywood back then, was my editor because Andrew Breitbart wanted me on there, and he was kind enough to have me as a writer and artist on there. And John was always, we were always clashing. He goes, "We can't publish this." I said, "Why not?" He goes, "It's called Islam versus Peace." I'm like, "Yeah, yeah, it is Islam versus Peace." you know. Um, Thanks, Mikey. Appreciate it, man. Always appreciate the links. And anyone else who does it on any of the chats, like Eric Hutflis, I think Hutflis, very very kind, man. Always out there, always out there. I really appreciate it. Our culture is playing hard to get it about Islam. Um, what's the difference between Islam and Islamism? Three letters. Um, Prophet sounded better than liar, thief, misogynist, polygamist, rapist, slaver, pedophile, and murderer. See no Islam, hear no Islam, speak no Islam. Make your enemy look good was not one of Sun Tzu's lessons, nor was do not know the enemy. Again, I just wrote these. Islam means peace in our time. And this was kill the infidels where we find them. And this is an actual quote in the Quran, unlike what Miller did in Holy Terror, where he says, when you see the infidel, kill the infidel. It's not an exact quote from Muhammad. Why the hell would he put it in there? You know why? Because he didn't do his homework. I couldn't stand it. I was like, I read it. I was like, that's not, Muhammad didn't say that. And again, I didn't read everything, every hadith. I didn't read the seerah and all that. I didn't read it, everything about it. I read the Quran a number of times. I read books about, all of these hadiths, right? All of the doings and sayings of Muhammad. But I never came across that. And I thought that was just, you're going to get involved, you better go deep and wide or don't bother because they're going to come after you anyway. My whole thing is if you go after Islam or jihad in any capacity, tell the full truth about it because they're going to come after you fully. So you might as well just, do that. Hey, Happy Funhouse, how's it going? Hey, Bosch, can't wait to read the whole book. What are some things that you learned in between the time you made the original propaganda comic and the revamped one? Well, propaganda will be more or less the same, but you talk about from propaganda to this. I mean, I don't know. I mean, it's a whole. The prop Piganda book was something that came out of again me in my study phase. I spent years studying Islam and reading dozens and dozens of books on and thousands of articles without exaggeration, thousands on Islam and jihad. And as I was doing that, I wanted to at least have something out there as I did it. So I said, okay, I'm anxious now. I want to get this thing out, but I really got to do my homework because again, I want to make it so integrated. The story, my ideas, my knowledge about Islam as one. I want to make it part of the story, not bash people over the head. And if you don't do your homework, that's when you start bashing people over the head because you're not even sure. But when you're sure, you can only take the most salient points and express them through the story, dialogue. And that's what I did. So in terms of learning, I don't know. I just know that as I was studying it, I was so engulfed in it that a part of it was like, okay, but I want to get out there. So as I was doing that, I was writing articles on my blog from 20 years ago and making drawings just to keep that part of my work alive as I was studying and writing. I Not only was I studying and taking notes, I built a Bible, 1,000-page Bible, without exaggeration, 1,000-page Bible of ideas that I had. They're ideas that will never made it into in a story and never will. And it's not because they're bad. It's just that they didn't fit. I was like, uh, si- the situations that I'm like, I can pass on that. And I think that's a value of going in deep, because even good stuff will go by the wayside because it doesn't fit. You're like, that's cool. Maybe for another story. And then as time goes on, if you can revisit those, though, you might find, you know what? Actually, that's a good one. So I might at some point, take a look back and see what's there. Because at least with myself, sometimes when you write things, you're like, did I write that? I mean, wow, it's pretty damn good. You surprise yourself because you're so far removed from it that it takes its own life, a life of its own. You're like, holy shit, you were in such a mode and you were just piling it on and, writing and writing and writing that it's detached from you. It becomes its own thing. And you're like, wow. And you become a little impressed with yourself and you got to calm that down. You say, okay, hold on there, don't go there. But you can still appreciate it. Like, that's pretty damn good. I like that. And I'm going to use that. Um, hey, Mikey, my dad says hi, Bosh. Tell your dad hi as well. You're his favorite artist in CG. He calls you the mellow guy compared to Ethan, Shane, John, and all the yellers. LOL, he votes for you every week. Man, that's really nice to hear, man. Mikey, tell your dad I said hi and thank you very much. It's very kind. That's hilarious. That's funny, man. That is funny. I don't like to be. I will say this: I don't have to be bombastic in a lot of ways. I'd leave that in my work. I know people. Okay, let me show you this. Yeah, this is the front and back, inside the inside, front and back cover of Propaganda, which are the victims of 9/11. And this was Michelle Malkin had an image in one of the court cases against the 20th hijacker, the French piece of shit from France, the jihadist, and they were able to accumulate the bulk of the victims of that day, and it's 2 pages full, a few thousand people. And once you look at this and you're reminded these are human beings with lives and family and brothers and sisters and mothers and fathers and grandchildren, and they'll never, ever, ever, their lives were cut short, and they were all, a lot of them in prime of their lives, and snuffed out because what? Because a piece of shit book told them to. And I remind myself every so often, I look at that, because we tend to forget that these are human beings who were snuffed out. And people all say, well, that was a long time ago, 9/11. Fuck you. It could be yesterday. And again, almost 3,000 were murdered on that day. Over 300,000 have been murdered since that day. That has to be reminded. People got to be reminded of that. So it's not like this thing is only, it's not, I'm not just stuck on 9/11. It happened to be the spark that made me revisit my Islamic background. That was the thing. So, oh man, it's a tough reminder, but necessary reminder. So yeah, guys, if you haven't backed it, I would really appreciate it. And again, those of you, I will remind you, if you're out there, those of you who did order the uh, I Want It All and the 4 covers, the way initially you get all the 7 covers. You will end up getting all the 7 covers because you guys were there on the ground floor. So I really appreciate the hell out of that. and you guys get that reward, which is I think great. I think it's just fair as well because I needed your support from day one, and you guys have been there, and it's awesome. So thanks again, Mikey. Tell your dad thanks again. I really appreciate it. It's very very kind. Thank you, man. Art says I was watching you on my TV once, and my mom was walking by. She's like, "Oh yeah, I watch him sometimes. I guess my views influence the algorithm and get recommendations." That's hilarious. That is so funny, man. Um, and I appreciate it. That's very, very cool. Um, I'd like to do this more. I got this schedule that keeps me pretty damn. Besides this prepping this relaunch of a Pigman and the remaster, I'm doing that one project that I let me show you quick. I guess just one thing quick. Actually, Actually, it's a little premature. I was going to show you something, but it's a little premature. It's not as good, I think, to share, even for a glimpse, because again, I think people will take the screenshots and I'll regret it. But I was going to show you something, but you'll see it eventually. I'm going to keep your eye out because I'm going to post some whips out there, works in pro, posts of work in progress. I've been doing that lately, also for Pigman and also the Fountainhead. So, hey, Jeremy, sorry. How's it going, man? That's very cool. Thanks, Arden. Thanks, Mikey. That's nice to know. Appreciate it. So yeah, guys. If you haven't backed it, I would really appreciate your support. I need your support. I can't do this without you. Cannot. We're in a world where this type of thing is it's not supposed to exist. It's not supposed to exist. That's a disgrace the way I see it because when you have Americans slaughtered by an enemy, there should be a number of individuals who are taking on that enemy, create in interesting, creative, entertaining ways. Should have. Didn't happen. I think it's tragic. So the point is that this wouldn't exist without you guys, without your support. And I appreciate the hell out of it. Thank you very much. Again, I do have 9-page preview. I also have 6 different covers as of now. I will have a closeout cover that I will debut to the backers in a mass email that I will send out on early Monday. Early Monday, because I want to give myself to finish it up today, tomorrow. I want to sleep on it, look at it well, and then to send it out. I want to make it as good as I can. It's going to be the most. How can I put it? The biggest cover. That's for sure. It'll be the biggest cover, size wise, and you'll see what I mean. So yeah, I got a 9-page preview. I have 6 different covers here. Here's one cover of Pigman in the act of killing 2 jihadists here, breaking a guy's neck, punching him to death with a death blow as Yara. That guy's playing dead. That guy's running because he's yellow. This guy is scared shit with his tongue out. I have this one is the most popular cover. I can see why, and I think someone the old day, one of these critics, probably a critic, goes, does that look like the interior art? Sometimes, but maybe not. The cover has to be the most, I think, dramatic image shot of these characters because when you're doing panel by panel, you can't focus as much. You don't want to. You're telling a story. You're not telling a highly designed painting. You're not. You try to do the best you can, but you're moving with the story. You know. I'm going to send Ilhan Omar a copy of Pigman. That's funny you say that, David, because Geert Wilders, the most honest politician about Islam on earth, not an exaggeration, who calls Islam evil, bought 150 copies of peaceful death threats. of peaceful death threats, um, to give them to members of parliament at The Hague, and they all got them. Uh, Whether they just threw them out, whatever, but he wanted them to see what happens to you if you tell the truth about Islam, and that should not happen in a free society. We should see that as the evil that it is, and it's accepted. It's accepted to the point of they say, "Hey, man, you shouldn't have drawn Muhammad." I was like, "No, the provocation are the threats, not the cartoon. That's the provocation. They provoked me by murdering cartoonists to draw Muhammad. I don't provoke them." Graveyard Grifter doing anything big for the closeout that day? Closeout. Graveyard Grifter, I will be streaming the bulk of the day. The bulk of the day, I will be streaming, and I'll be debuting the closeout cover and just talking about it, talking your ears off, really, and you guys come back and forth. Um, Save on postage. You could send one to her husband, and her cousin, all in one package. That's hilarious. That's very funny. I want to send Ilhan. Art says I want to send Ilhan Omar to Somalia. 100%. She doesn't belong here. She's a disease. She hates the country. She wants to see it destroyed from within if she could. No place here. And there should be rules because, again, when an enemy is at war with you, you can actually take action against those who support the enemy against your country. You can do that legally. She has no right to be in power in a country when she hates it. She's a communist Muslim. She has no right. People will say, "Oh, it's, freedom." That's not freedom. She hates the country. She wants to see it brought down. She diminishes 9/11, the mass murder of Americans, by calling it, that something somewhere happened type thing. No, there's tolerance and then there's propping up enemies within. We can't do that. The Democrat Party is an enemy within. It is an enemy within. We were on the verge of them trying to knock us out because, again, you cannot in perpetuity have communists run this country, or else it will truly be over at that point. You need not just a speed bump. You need a lot more than that, a wall for them to smash right into. So, yeah. So, yeah, guys, this is the most popular cover. It is the war paint. And the war paint, of course, is jihadist blood over his pigskin leather mask. So that I have this cover of the four main characters. Killian Duke on the left, the cartoonist that draws Pigman. Salam Duka on the right, his twin brother. And above them are the counterparts, Pigman and Super Jihad. Frank Warner and Muhammad, Dr. Muhammad, as he calls himself. He's an advisor to Obama, and it's something that's going to be pretty funny when he finally takes the mask off. You'll see what Obama says and does, and then of course Trump comes in a picture at some point. So it's interesting. Trump initially does not like Pigman, does not like him at all. Um, Graveyard Grifter, any drinking game goals, etc. I don't even know. I don't really drink myself. I drink some wine whenever the Kings are there for the thing, but that's about it. Um, you guys can do it, I guess, on your own, or you can initiate it and maybe have me mention it during the stream. Again, I'll be streaming all day. I'm taking one break for sure in the afternoon, and outside of that, I'm gonna stream until I drop. Really, I gotta make this the strongest close that I can. I want to go strong into fulfillment and then launching Pigment 2. I'm assuming the fall. I'm assuming the fall. Once I fulfill it, I want to fulfill everything first before I launch. So once it's all done, settled, everything's out, people get their views out there, um, comments, reviews. Then I want to get issue 2 out. And then after that, by next year, guys, I will have the big book that I'm working on now, and launching Pigman 3, which at that point is 100% all new material, from the cover to the interiors to the back cover. Everything in there will be all new, and it's going to be interesting to see how that comes along, um, and what happens with the characters. I got some strong ideas. Uh, I can't even mention it. It's unfortunate, but I just don't want to give away anything to those who have read it and to those who clearly who haven't read it. But even to those who have read it, yeah, Katie, Kings, Kangs, you're gonna have a busy day. Absolutely, it's worth. I mean, this is this is the final call. This is it, the last call. I'm trying to make as much impact as I can. The first day was the biggest day, and I hope the last day will be as big, if not bigger. And we will see. We will see how that goes. I think I've been now with Kings for a little over a year, and loosely, the first time I appeared on Ethan's show, March of 2024, I believe. So I think people have a good idea of where I'm coming from and what I can do also in short notice. Even the drawing, which is, I got to say, it's awesome to go up against these guys who are great at what they do, and sometimes win, sometimes go high, sometimes go rock bottom as well, which is hilarious. Um, no pinball machine goes. That's hilarious. No, no. Um, Nothing besides getting this book out in your hands as good as it possibly can be, and then launching Pigment number 2. That's where I'm at. Maybe later on, who knows? I'll have some certain incentives, but there'll be the incentives. I think I will leave with you guys and what you guys want. Um, Interesting. But yeah, it'll be cool as hell also to at some point maybe bring in okay, if anyone's out there also, if you're listening, those who ordered the commissions of Pigman, I know one of you gave a detailed idea of what it could be, and I will use that, I believe, as a cover for the second one, because someone who did that, they actually ordered they said, hey, you can use it as a cover. I will definitely use it for the second issue. And at that point, it's very possible I might be able to ask a fellow king to draw something, um, a cover. We'll see about that. I'd love to. I love to see different interpretations of Pigman. I never tell people, "Oh no, no, you draw it this way." Absolutely not. That's their call. These guys are pros. They draw it how they draw it. I'm not asking them to do anything else besides take my character and draw it in their way. So hopefully, at some point, I can do that as well. I bring a little more attention, a little more eyeballs. And again, what I'm hoping for is that people read it, like it, and spread the word. And what you want also is people to regret not backing it. I think, John, I think in the fall, once I fulfill all of issue 1, after I fulfill it all, I will launch 2. But again, I want people to settle in. I want those who bought it to have read it. The word of mouth, I want it to spread. I want to get the help of readers who like it and who, bring the word out that it's good. And hopefully that can build from there. There's only so much I can say. I can tell you guys it's good. I can tell you guys I give everything I have to it and all that. But in the end, it's going to be readers, readers, and whether you liked it or you didn't. And that's it. It comes down to readership. And if you guys like it, that'll be more of a sell than anything I can say. You guys will be the ultimate salesman in that sense. Because if you like it and you paid for it, and like it, that's when people say, okay, I think I might want to get on board. And that's why, people will probably, again, I am counting on people liking it. I am. This is something different. You haven't seen this before. Um, it's I think it's interesting in the way it's set up, also in terms of the story being brought in and out. And I'm gonna pull something here. Give me a second. For those of you who weren't here yesterday, I'm going to read you something here that you might find interesting, if you weren't here. And you know what? In terms of Frank Miller, also, I'm going to pull this up as well because, uh, as you know, I think Frank Miller is the best writer in comics. His, historically, I think he was the best writer in comics at his best. So, at the same time, he has pissed me off. He's pissed me off going limp here and there. And this is something that I put together a little while back. Um, so, the brave and the bold Frank Miller. He's drawing on behalf of Black Lives Matter. He did that, right? Hey, hey, Black Power, Martha Washington. It's like, all right, Frank, that's real bold. His drawing against Asian hate, stop Asian hate. All right. It was the Asian hate that we saw was mainly black thugs, racists going after relatively smaller Asians, whether they be women or men. It was horrendous. And then I put his Muhammad drawing on behalf of murdered cartoonists. Oh. His drawing on behalf of Israel against Hamas. Oh. So Frank can go on board with these leftist bullshit hashtags, but in the moment of truth, nah, he ain't there. And come on, man, show some fucking balls. He has nothing to lose. He's an icon. He did go after the what do you call that? Occupy Wall Street. Um, John Porter says it would be awesome to get EVS to do a real review of Pigman. I am getting tired of every book review being a ripetard piece. Yeah, ripetard piece of soulless trash. We deserve a good book to receive reviewed. I'd love that. I gave him Pigman last year, a while back, and again, I just the subject matter. Who knows? My style. Who knows? It might not appeal to some people. It just might not. I don't know. But I do know as a story. I think people read it. It's I think it works. And again, I'm of a mind where you're telling a story. I don't want to get in the way of the story. I don't want to get in the way of a story putting too much an overload of information, whether that be too much details, too much representational drawings. It's not. Don't care. I want to hit the reader fast and hard and have them move at a good, healthy pace and get it's an experience, a story experience, more than a stop and wow. I don't want to. I don't want them to stop and wow at the just drawings. If they do, great. That's a nice bonus, but that's not my intention. I want them to move in a healthy pace to take in the story. That's what I want. That's what I think is the best stories in comics, and that's what I think I'm striving for. Dark Knight Returns, in other words, you read it, it is a healthy, awesome pace, and you're not wowed, overwhelmed by the art. You're like, wow, that's a nice splash page, and then you move on. And then sometimes, like, oof, some of it's not that fine, but the story's so strong that it's like, yeah, it didn't, undercut it. Um, Headless Bourgeois. Miller's been on an apology tour ever since he got blowback for criticizing Occupy Wall Street. 100%. That piece of shit, Alan Moore, trashed him also. Trashed him. It's like, you're a goddamn commie. Don't tell me you're some kind of anarchist. You're not. You're a commie. There's a picture of him with a hammer and a sickle. It's like, yeah, no one but a commie would do that. David L., he couldn't help but spoil the book if he reviewed it. That's right. There are elements, guys, where you don't want. I wouldn't want anyone reviewing. I when reviewing certain things uh, on Pigman. I just don't. I don't think that'll work. I just don't think that'll work at all. It would not be good because there's some stuff that I really want people to experience on their own. It's very important that they directly in their own mind experience what I intend them to experience as I intend them to experience it within the story itself. It's very important. Um, Art says when he reviews, he usually goes through the whole book, no, so spoilers are given. I mean, the one thing I say, I'll also, even books that are 40 years old, like, 39 years old, like Dark Knight, I say, guys, if you haven't read it, please leave. I don't want you to experience it this way. I want you to experience it in your own mind, with your own eyes. That's the, so, I think, I don't know. If anything, maybe you watch a review for the first 10, 15 minutes, and if the reviewer seems into it, say, okay, then you might just turn it off and maybe get it yourself and then watch the review after. That's something to do as well. So anyway, if you weren't here yesterday, I want to show you this. This is interesting to me. There was a time when leftists were a little more willing to appreciate something that they may not agree with politically, but nonetheless like it and say, okay, here's some there's some value here. So this was Rich Johnston, Bleeding Cool, that guy. He goes, there are all sorts of narrative tricks. Okay, this is about Pigman. There are all sorts of narrative tricks at play here that can't help but impress. There are moments that remind of Dark Knight Year 1 and 300, exposing character, physicality, and direction in a very impressive fashion, and in comic book fashion at that. This is not a movie pitch. This is very much a comic book reusing some of its best tricks and inventing some of its own. I particularly appreciate that because of this aspect. You see some comic book artists sometimes, and they are trying to make a movie on the page. Brian Hitch, it's like movie. It's like, yeah, okay. You have the shadows of a movie, the lighting. It's like, okay, but you're not making a movie. This is a comic book. You can stylize it a little more. You don't have to be bound by reality as much as you are. And to the point where he'll put the Batman mask on, right? And Bale's mask at times, at least for Batman Begins, was really long at the nose part. Why? I don't know. Didn't have to be the way. And Brian Hitch draws that way in the comics. Like, doesn't you don't have to do that. You can make it a short little line there. It doesn't have to be, protruding as much. Things like that I don't like. So yeah, I'm a cartoonist. I'm writing and drawing a comic book. I'm not trying to pitch this to a studio. If a studio wants to come to me and try to adapt it, yeah, I'll be interested, of course. But that's not my intention. My intention is to tell a story as itself. This is the original form of the story. This is it. A movie will only be a shadow of it. It could be good, but it won't be the actual thing itself. It's like what I'm adapting right now. I'm adapting something, right? I'm adapting a novel. What I'm doing is only a shadow of it. It's only my interpretation of it. It's not the thing. That's why I'm telling people who know me, I said, read that book first before you read my interpretation of it. It's important. Um, John Porton, the book came out 10 years ago. Spoilers are out there already, LOL. About mine, right? Yeah. Um, Graveyard Grifter, I like watching review with you for first time because you know background lore, etc. Thanks, man. I love doing it. I love revisiting these stories, re-experiencing them, and I cannot help but deviate from them. I always go on, you know, natural tangents with you guys in the chat with memories that have and thoughts and ideas and looking at certain things that spark something. I love the organic review. I'm not bound by anything. I mean, when it comes to that, I'm not going to limit myself. So my point is that Rich Johnson had some nice stuff to say here, and I do appreciate in particular his mention of that this is a comic book fashion. That this is not a movie pitch. This is very much a comic book reusing it. Because again, there are things that I do in my comics also, like the panels within the bodies of the characters, looking through them. That's impossible to do in movies. Impossible, you know. So, um, Art says, too many right draw pitches for Netflix. The comic itself is just a means to an end 100%. And you can tell and it's pretty obvious, and it's also it's dirty. It's like, you guys just go for it. Go for Hollywood. If that's your thing, go write some treatments. Let me tell you, back in the day, back in the day, when I was working as a waiter, I was learning how to write and how to draw as a professional. I always wrote, I always drew, but I was trying to get out there. And there was a coworker who came in, and he had these designs on movies. And what did he do? Did he go and write a movie, a screenplay? No. What did he do? He wrote a comic book. He wrote a comic book. And he asked me to read the comic book. I said, well, I'm telling you right now, I love comics. And if I don't like it, I will tell you I don't like it. And I'll tell you why exactly. And I think he was arrogant and not confident and said, yeah, it's good. So it wasn't good at all. I didn't like it. And I told him why. And I told him, see, I said, I see what you're doing. I said, you're trying to make a movie pitch. It's like, go directly to the studio, write a screenplay. You're hiring an artist to do your thing. Just write a screenplay and do it. You don't go in a roundabout way. You're wasting your time, and you don't love this process. You are clearly choring this. We got in an argument, basically. Was not friendly anymore. I'm good. I'm good with that. I saw him a number of years later. It was funny. He was still working in a restaurant, and I was not. I was doing my thing, and he knew about the Muhammad cartoon contest that I won and all that. So that was interesting. But anyway, the point is that you can tell these guys who were. It's like Joke Asada, right? He said something in one of his books, how to draw comics and how to write comics. Um, Two of those books came out. I got them here. But he said something. He actually said this, guys. I mean, you got to blow someone, right? That's the way he gets things done, in Hollywood. It's like, what, Joe? I thought you were a cartoonist. What are you talking about, Hollywood? What have you had made? Nothing was made from your work in Hollywood. Why are you even worried about that? And why are you saying that obscene thing? What are you, a whore? It was obscene to hear that. I was like, what? He brings in Kevin Smith because he's a movie guy. He sucks. Kevin Smith sucks. He wrote Daredevil, Guardian Devil. He thought, oh, that's a flip on Guardian Angel, Guardian Devil. And then we have a pretty stoic character in Matt Murdock, right? No matter what he goes through, Electra gets killed. He mourns her, and he tells Foggy, when he realizes, when it really hits him, when he's digging that grave, he goes, she's dead, Foggy. She's dead. And he's like, that's how a man takes it. In the version that, Smith and Casado did, where Karen gets killed by, I guess, Bullseye. I don't think I'm spoiling anything for you guys, but years ago. Matt Murdock's crying like a bitch on his bed. It's like, nah, that's not how you do it. That's not how man does it. You can mourn it. You can. And especially when you have the chance to show, meaning people can do anything in the privacy of their own mind and home. But when you have a chance to dramatize that, why would you want to show him that way? Not a hero that way, no. Hey, Roland K. How's it going, man? John Porter says, Bosch reviews are the best, but sometimes it's hard to review your own work. As in hard to review my own work? Mine? As in reading Table for One and Pigman? I don't know. I don't know. I can do it. I think I can break it down, and also I can give you some insight into what I was thinking that may not be obvious. I'm doing well, Roland K. How are you doing? Very, very cool. Bretsky the Great. Salute, chat. Salute, Bosch. Bretsky the Great. Salute. Graveyard Grifter. In 2 years, you will have Pigman movie through AI guaranteed. You won't need Hollywood. I'm hearing that. I don't know. I don't know. Can I get the soulless kinks out of it? I don't know. Can you learn it yourself and get those kinks out? I don't know. Can you, direct it exactly as you want it? I don't know. I mean, I don't know. Um, can you make it exactly as you intend? Meaning, if you want, if there was an actor in front of you, can you have them the AI thing, actor, thing, do what you want them exactly what you want them to do? I don't know. It's moving pretty fast though. It's become now the given of our lives, in a lot of ways. And you got quote unquote AI artists. They're not artists. They're not artists. AI artists. You can use. It's a tool. It's a tool. Um, Art says one of the best things about novels is that you can write anything. No one, no, no. Can the artist draw it? Does the TV or the art or can the artist draw it? Does the TV crew have the budget? People who draw with a movie budget in mind limit their work. Absolutely true. It's very well put, and it's absolutely true. Because once you're doing that, you are clearly trying to. You're limiting it. You're right. If it's fiction, you can do anything, anything. And why limit that? Because you're locked into this idea that this is a movie material. This is just raw material for a movie. No, no, this is a comic book. I love comics. I I went to acting school. I was considering directing. I was considering writing screenplays. I was considering singing and a number of things until I got serious and said, okay, I was in my 20s. I said, what do you really want? What do you really love? Comics. I want to write and draw comics. I love stories. Those were the things that moved me more than anything else. Um, you know, Novels and comics. But comics was the first real art form that I loved. And then, movies and novels and all that came after. But the first real art form that really got me in the gut and moved me to tears at times. You get so engaged with these characters, you fall in love with them. It's like, wow. And that was the thing. So that was it. And I was like, okay. And it's interesting because having said that, all those other aspects, when you write and draw your own stories, you're acting, you're writing like a novelist, like a screenwriter, you're visually doing things the way I guess a director could or would, meaning you have this quote unquote camera anywhere you want to place it for most effect. So you become it's aspects of it that are relative to it. But in the end, it's a comic book limited only by your imagination. You're not bound by anything else. And why would you want to place those kind of those limitations on you? There's no need at all. Rolling K, I'm doing all right. Just got out of work and I'm continuing my text debate on Israel with my friend Charlotte. I don't consider it through texting a real debate, but that's what she's calling it. Good luck, Rolling K. It's very difficult to reason with those who, no matter what they say, are on the side of savages. I don't give a shit if you don't quote unquote like Israel. I don't give a shit. Look at the other side, and that's that. That's it. And if you're against that because the conflict is Hamas and all the powers behind it, Iran, all that, against a civilized country, I don't give a fuck if you don't like Jews. I don't give a shit about anything like that. You have monsters who target innocents for slaughter. And if you cannot side with the other side that is the victim of it, you're irrational. You're irrational. Um, so yeah, let me read this whole thing. Graveyard Grifter. Does Pigman have any humor or comic relief? It does. It does. To me, it does. Yeah, it could be seen as dark humor. There's one moment. I'm going to share it actually. Let me pull it up here. Jamie, pull it up. I'm going to pull it up. I think it's funny. But, you know, it's just a little moment here. I don't think I'm giving away too much or anything really. But it's a fun moment to me at least. And the humor between the natural humor is what I'm trying to do more than anything else. The organic humor. that's part of it. Here's a scene where Pigman is going across the Islamic world on a rampage. And this guy he goes to Iraq and he goes, "There's nothing you can do about this, Pigman, nothing. And when I get my hands on you," he goes, "when I get my hands on you, you're going to regret." The guy says, "No." Clush. It's that sound. And his would be victim looks up at Pigman and he goes, "Thank you." And it's gray. So if you notice, it's like a slight whisper. And the guy's his head has been crushed within his shoulders and he's dead. He's a dead man, but he's still convulsing. And then this is one of those things that some of these reviewers were talking about in terms of innovation. This right here is a panel within Pigman that shows what's in front of him. I did this table for one over 21 years ago, and now I did it a few times within Pigman. Don't let him touch you. It was what a waste of glass. That's funny to me. It could be dark humor, but I think it's funny. These guys, instead of being touched by a Pigman's pigskin leather or a fighting chance to even run or something, they kill themselves. It was what a waste of glass. And then this guy, the would-be victim of that jihadist, tells Pigman, "Why?" He goes, "Why would you save someone who wrote such terrible things about you?" He goes, "Mister, I don't know who the hell you are, and I don't care. Let's move." And he feels even worse. First of all, he feels he should be known. And also on top of that, he's like, "I don't know who the hell you are. I don't care. I'm just saving people. Move." That stuff is funny to me. And then here's Hamas, offices of Hamas. And it shows this Pigman walking from these offices, bloody steps. So things like that I think are funny. Three people's tastes might vary. Also, when he talks about Ashura Day, Ashura Day is when the Shiite Muslims, in particular, try to commemorate the murder of Muhammad's, I believe, great grandson, because it was a moment in time where Muslims were trying to figure out whether it's going to be merit or blood, meaning the leadership of the Ummah, of the Muslims, right? Whether it's going to be merit based, quote unquote, merit based in Islamic, whatever does that mean? I don't even know. Or blood, meaning the blood of Muhammad. And the Muslims at the time ended up murdering his great grandson, Ali Hussein, I believe that was his name. And so therefore, that's where the break happened with the Shiites and the Sunnis. The Sunnis were the ones who murdered, the great grandson, and that ended up being the Shiites. So the Shiites every year they commemorate the murder of Ali Hussein by slicing themselves, sometimes to the point of death. This happens in Brooklyn, guys, in alleyways in Brooklyn. These savage Muslims in America get together. They slice their backs, slice their heads. They're bleeding profusely. And some of them don't make it. Some of them die of blood loss. They slice their babies' heads. Okay? So Pigman is relaying this because Pigman goes across the Islamic world in his one scene, his one rampage across, right? And he ends up in Israel to get some intel from his Israeli friend. And he's telling his Israeli friend, and I'm going to just show that as well. It's funny, you guys got me showing stuff, and I'm not sure if I should, but you know what? I love this stuff, actually. I don't mind it. It's not telling too much, and it's been out there for a while. But here is Pigman in his Israeli friend's home. He's like, Israel. He goes, so then this pack of Hezbollah rats are celebrating Ashura Day. You know, the day they cut themselves in order to fuel the pain of Muhammad's murdered grandson. I guess it was just his grandson. So I tell them, no, no, no. If you really want to feel his pain, you need to go all the way. Here, let me show you. And he kills them all. Hezbollah, the proxies of Iran. And the lady in the back is smirking, and he's like, "Well, I thought it was funny." He goes, "You would." Because now you were inquiring about body armor. He goes, no, 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 body odor. I want super strong nose plugs so I don't die from jihadist bo. The guy's laughing his ass off. He goes, "Wasn't that funny?" Those things are funny to me because I think about Pigman. I think about what he has to face. And yeah, these guys are dangerous and all that, but god damn it, they stink. They smell like hell. And he has to deal with that. And he's making a joke there, but you know, I think it's funny to have him roast them before he kills them. Also, he does do that at times. He tells these guys who one more. Okay, last one, guys. If you haven't read it, you get a sneak peek. But again, it'll be slightly different by the time it gets to you. Not all the pages, but a number of them. Let me let me show you. Okay, another transition between the brothers. Salam, who's at a mosque with his imam, who's trying to get him to not reason with Killian, the Islamic way to reason with him. Let me just say that. And so then he starts his rampage. And again, if you guys know, the Pigman parts go, the Killian parts and the Salam parts go, I ink them in pen, and the gutters between the panels are black to differentiate. The Pigman parts are all in white open with white gutters. So this is Afghanistan. And these guys know that Pigman's coming, so they're about to kill themselves. Because they know now this guy's got pigskin leather. He might take us out. So he's like, whew. This guy slices his throat. You hear blam, schluck, blam. And you have this one scene here where these guys are in a circle jerk. He goes, "Stop, stop, stop. Suicide is forbidden." And you guys are about to blow their heads off. Like, oh? He goes, "He's here. Let's do this right." So they get into a circle jerk, right? And they're shaking. And they all 5, 4, 3, 2, blah, 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 you know? And Pigman's like, "You're killing me, guys." He goes, "Well, actually, you know, as in you're killing yourselves." And one of them is live. And he goes, "Hey, genius, you can't blow your brains out if you don't have any." The guy says, "I'm an American." And he is. He's like, Pigman says, "American. Quote unquote, American. No, you murder Americans. And that's why you're dead." And he, snuffs the life out of him. So that's it. That's my, there's more. There's more humor in there, every so often, but that's my form of humor. Some of you might not think it is. I think it is. I get a kick out of it. I think it's funny. I think it's generally funny. So, okay, let me get those quotes here. I want to read this. If you missed it yesterday, hope I'm not repeating them to those who were here. But Rolling K, yep. Thanks, John. I can't wait to show it either. I showed it to a friend and she liked it. Rolling K, when Killian confronts your Muslim friends in issue 1 and tells to watch the pigskin, and when he knocks one of them out with the Quran and says it's useful or something, I thought it was funny. That's funny to me too, because the guy's grabbing him. He's like, "Watch the pigskin." He's like, "Oh," he uses it as psychological warfare the way Pigman does. So each of their stories are pretty echoed because Killian himself does wear pigskin leather. I wear pigskin leather, my watch band, and I advertise it, just in case, you know. And also he wears a Pigman symbol on his shirt, Killian, and I have that symbol as well. But those things are funny to me. And yeah, and these guys are trying to give away the Quran for free, right? And at one point, Killian does use it against a guy's head. Boom! Knocks him out, and he goes, "Huh, they're not completely worthless, Um, 10 more Graveyard Grifter, as in show 10 more. I'm done with showing I just want to show those few parts. And again, it's right now it's over 100 pages, Pigman. The first one will be 50 something, maybe 60 tops. Second one will be about the same. And then the third, we'll see, and so on and so on. Hail, Ovi Ravioli. How's it going, man? So yeah. I have that as part of my campaign, Rolling K. I have the Pigman symbol. And again, if you guys don't know, there's always people who just don't know and who weren't here or whatever. I don't care. When you know, you know. Let me show you what the symbol means. It's packed with meaning. And it took me a little while to get the design right, but I think I did get it right eventually. So let me show you, and then I do got to get going, guys. I got my work cut out for me. This is Pigman's chest symbol. You know ribbons when they commemorate things, so the ribbon is there. It is an S. September 11th, the Twin Towers. September 11th. Those two dents make it a 3. This right here is a 9. Part of the red, part of the tower, a 9. 93. Flight 93 with Todd Beamer, Let's Roll, took out the savages who wanted to fly planes into the Capitol building. They're heroes. People try to deny the reality of that because they're scum. They can't imagine that kind of heroism. Believe it. Believe it. If we see that kind of evil, we can see a contrast of it on that day as well. So 9/11, 93 for Flight 93, and also 1993, the first attack on the Twin Towers, where they killed 6 Americans that day. They had bombs at the bottom of the towers, and their dream, we have the American dream, they have the Islamic nightmare. It was to topple the towers side to side to kill over 100,000 Americans. That was their dream. And they failed because they didn't have enough money to get a bigger bomb. They eventually, got a bigger bomb, which is what? They goddamn commandeered planes and flew them into towers. They can't even make their own bombs. You have to turn planes into bombs. They weaponize everything. They weaponize language. They weaponize that. They weaponize everything. They weaponize our laws against us. They weaponize planes. They weaponize cars. Car jihad, vehicular jihad. Anyway, so it's 11, right? 9/11, September 11th, 93 for Flight 93, and first attack on Twin Towers. And on top of that, it's an S, a traditional S for Superman, which I watched again, by the way. I just got it on video. Really enjoyed it. I got to watch the behind the scenes. I know people are, back and forth on it. I don't care. I enjoyed it, man. Just sit back and enjoy it, guys. It's Superman done in a really healthy way. He has a good spirit about him, a very benevolent. That's what we want. That's Superman, the good guy, doing good things for goodness sake. Anyway, and also he's a capitalist pig. He's a capitalist. He's not a socialist. That's a dollar sign. You know how a dollar sign goes with the 2 lines there? It's not as obvious, but to me it is. So that. And so let me read these quick excerpts of reviews from leftists who didn't want to deny the reality that it has value. They didn't appreciate everything clearly, but it has value. So I read you Rich Johnson's, and now this Brent Schenker from Graphic Policy. There's almost an autobiographical take on this story, which makes it fascinating. Fawcett was born into an Albanian Muslim family and raised Muslim. He has an interesting perspective on the subject, he writes. It's clear 9/11 has affected him. You can feel the anguish in this. And again, people want to limit it to 9/11, and I got the symbol for 9/11 and all that, yes, but it's far beyond that. 1,400 years before that, and it's almost 25 years since 9/11. So that was how can I put it? That was the point of no return, where you cannot pretend anymore that Islam is something other than what it is. And people have still, clung to the idea that it's something that isn't, unfortunately. So he goes, it's clear 9/11 has affected him. You can feel the anguish in this comic lingering from that event, and it's a spark for the comic within the comic. Yeah, it's exactly right. It is just a spark. There's over-the-top comments and statements to leftists, things that made me cringe to a leftist. I don't even know what could have made him cringe. What? a truth that I told about Islam. Okay, is one line where Killian is having a debate with his friend, and his friend says something along the lines of, he goes, well, he goes, imagine, Killian says, imagine if you were a true Muslim. He goes, I am a true Muslim. He goes, really? He goes, you do know that behind Islam's behind Islam's hatred of women is a love of men, which makes Islam pretty gay. And his friend's like, oh. So that's what made this guy probably cringe. It's a funny line, and it's true. You got to question misogynists at times. You got to question those who really, really, really hate women and treat them a lot like shit. It's like, what the hell, guys? I don't know. Something going on here culturally. Um, that's a big sign right there. Anyway, um, he goes, there's over the top moments and statements, things that made me cringe, but Faustin has the right to say it. Of course, I hate when people say, you have the right to say it. It's like Eric July, even, right? Yeah, you have the right to say, yeah, you don't have to tell me that. Stop repeating that. That's beside the point. Talk about the content of what I'm saying, not that I have the right to say. That's the given. Agree or did disagree with the politics behind it. I can still enjoy the story. This is one I want to see more of. Fair enough from a leftist. That's pretty fair. We don't get that today. We don't get that today at all. They have gotten stupider, more cloistered, more leftist, more savage, really. And then this guy really didn't like it. This is the only thing he said positive. I forgot his name. He's from Broken Frontier. Because Faustin uses a clever device of comic within a comic to provide emotional and intellectual insight into the motivations of his protagonists. Technically, his use of this device is remarkable as he slides between worlds with ease and grace. It's very nice. It's very kind of him to say so. And I do appreciate it. All right, guys. It's going on 2 hours. I'll stay for $1.15 to make it a clean 2 hours. All right, I grabbed one from the campaign rolling K. I wanted a Pigman shirt for a while. Thanks, Art. John Porton, the deep state is also very intertwined with the Muslim bad guys. They are. Unfortunately, they are. And again, it's only the point where in their mind, it's like, okay, we hate the West. We want to bring it down. They do too. Let's work with them, bring it down, and then let's just try to take over. It's like, if it's a battle between, it's like this. The guy Mamdani, right, from New York, the would-be mayor, and it looks like New Yorkers are hell-bent to get him in. He's a communist Muslim, right? He's a Muslim communist. In the end, he's a Muslim. In the end, the communists and Muslims in Iran, right? What happened to the communists after the Iranian Revolution? What happened? Imprisoned, killed, or converted. There is no open communist movement there. It might be closet communism there. It's one or the other. So, but they don't think long term. Now, people say, oh, they think long term. They don't think long term. Leftists and Muslims, they think about tomorrow. And yeah, they've been doing it for a long time, meaning that it's like they say, Americans, we think about life. They think about death. They think about destruction. That's not long term thinking. They fly planes into buildings and celebrate it. That's long term thinking. That is the end of all things. That's nihilism. Nihilism is not long time thinking. It's a lie to say that. Even people who understand Islam sometimes say that. Don't give it any faint praise ever for anything, ever. I don't know of any Muslim group who expresses, at least in the West, who is vocally against Hamas. Hamas has become the most acceptable terrorist group in the world, the Islamic terrorist group, because again, it's against Jews, and fortunately, a lot of people just don't like Jews and hate them. It's grotesque that they'll side with absolute savages over it. Sickening. Ovi Ravioli, Santa wins versus Superman's. Santa wins? Don't know what you mean, Ovi Ravioli. Is there a movie on Santa that's beating it? I don't know. John Portman, crazy rabbit hole to go down, but there are mountains of declassified evidence. Absolutely. In terms of the marriage of communists and Muslims, 100%. And again, they'll work together and then try to kill each other. But I think the savagery of Muslims will do more than a savagery of communists in the end. Um, Muslims are always willing to go further and be more savage. That's why any kind of mafia or anything, they're more afraid of the Muslim mobs because they're more willing, like the Albanian mobs in New York. The Italian mafia fears them because they're willing to go anywhere. They have no inhibitions, whereas the other guys have some kind of rules still. It's just more dangerous. Roller Kid, the new Superman movie was great. My friend Paul thought it was woke. I still don't get it. I don't get it either. It's not woke. It's not. It's a healthy, good attitude that Superman has. It's a very human Superman. It's a Superman. The emphasis on man, which I really appreciate. And I like the fact that despite what you hear about, well, Superman shouldn't be this, shouldn't be that. He shouldn't be seen crash landing. The biggest complaint you hear from everyone is, Superman's too powerful. It's tough to make him, you know, vulnerable. It's like, okay, how about you open up your movie with having him crash land and get his ass kicked by basically himself? Well, if you haven't seen it, you should. Well, if you haven't seen it, you should have seen it by now if you're a fan of comics. I don't get those who haven't seen it. They profess to love Superman. It's like, you haven't seen it? You love Superman? I don't think so. Me, I love Superman. I'm there. And I want it to be good. I'm not looking for it to be bad. I want it to be good. And it was. So the idea is that that's everyone's complaint. You always hear from everyone, oh, Superman is tough to write because he's invulnerable and all that. Well, make him powerful, but show him vulnerable. And they did it a number of times and it worked. And didn't make him a pussy, didn't make him weak, and made him a man, who will always gets back up and fights. That's a hero. Doesn't matter he's knocked down. Rocky gets knocked down. All heroes get knocked down. Pigman in this story gets really knocked down, as does Killian. And what do they do? They persist. That makes a hero. It doesn't matter that you get knocked down. And what matters is that you get up. You're in the ring of life. You got to get knocked down. You will always get knocked down. And people don't want to show that. You don't want to, if you don't want to take your hero, right, and put him through the hell, you're not a serious writer. You're not. And your hero will not be a beloved hero because we don't know what he's made of because you haven't put him to the test. What good is that? It doesn't make sense. So in this movie, he was put to the test a lot. He was smeared. He was attacked. He was almost murdered. We've never seen Superman get a full-on assault the way he did in this movie. On all fronts. And even in a personal way, with his woman and stuff. Questioning and challenging and, that debate in the end, I think Clark, with the debate with Lois, she's being very professional, quote unquote, a good journalism, quote unquote. And his point is like, people are dying. And if I have the power to save them, I'm not going to not do that. I will do that. And it would have been nice maybe if he asked you, if you had my power, what would you do in my situation? Would you wait to hear from that authority? No, no. I'm with him on that. Graveyard Grifter, do you have a religion you believe in? I don't. Once I left Islam, that was it for me. Um, I've always believed in truth. I've always believed in good, always. And that's what I believe got me out of Islam, believing in good, believing in truth. And as I always say about Islam, it has a certain way. I think if the only God you ever knew was Allah, I don't think you want to, I think you're done. I believe, at least, well, it's not just speaking personally. I've known other ex-Muslims who've said that as well, that they cannot, they have no faith, But again, I believe in truth. I believe in good. I believe in morality. I believe in doing the right thing. I believe in all that stuff, and that's why, I don't look down on other people, other religionists. I don't look down on Jews and Christians and even Muslims who I know. I look down on them as, oh, well, you believe in this. And if they're decent people, they're decent people. Again, as I mentioned the old day, There are atheists who are pieces of shit and atheists who are great. There are religionists who are pieces of shit and religionists who are great. And I don't attribute that to anything else, not even to their religions, but to them, their individual morality. Because no matter what you may profess to believe, you in the end are making those choices. You're the one to answer to yourself for those things. You may tell yourself it's because this or that. In the end, I think it's your choices. That's what's key. And that's why I got to say that part with Pa Kent resonated emotionally because he's telling him, your choices, that's what makes you. You know, and no matter where you came from or what the history was or what your parents intended, your biological parents, you are who you choose to be. Um, and then he tells me how proud he is. It's a great moment. It's great. Um, Art says, I do wonder how many feminists actually have a problem with Islam. Every time one vocalizes displeasure at how they treat women, they get eaten alive by their friends. It's interesting with these feminists, they're such liars about their love of women. They're communists in the end, the feminists. That's why, you have communists, clear-cut communists, and then you have the under umbrella, meaning within the umbrella of communism, you have BLM, black communists, the LGBT, gay communists, the feminists, female communists. That's what they are. It's not about being gay or black or female, it's about being a communist. That's the overriding, that defines them. So being communist, how the hell can they, you know, do feminists appreciate Ayn Rand? Hell no. Not only was she not a communist, she was an actual opponent of communism and arguably history's greatest opponent of communism. She fought him on a fundamental level against collectivism, against all these isms, and she, said it better than anyone in terms of these are all the same shit: fascism, socialism, nationalists, the Nazis, the nationalists, socialists, the communists. It's all the same. It's all collectivism in the end. Gays, do they celebrate non-leftist gays? No, they celebrate communist gays. BLM, do they celebrate Thomas Sowell? No, they celebrate communist blacks. So in the end, they're just they're commies. That's the overriding value. And then they want to try to appeal to these, like, they can rope in some dumb blacks, some dumb gays, and some dumb women to be part of that group, even though they are communists, in order to get the numbers in for voting blocks. That's really what it comes down to. But in the end, they're all communists. John says, I think what we are seeing in the modern left is called national Bolshevism, satanic hybrid of both communism and fascism. Yeah, and that's the whole thing, John. When I write a poster on commie Nazis, that's not by accident. They're collectivists. It's all the same. Different names, and it's akin to the Shiite and Sunni Muslims. Same base, a slightly different gang. In the end, they're brothers and sisters, so they will work together in the end. But when they also fight, they will kill each other. This idea that in World War II, hey, the communists and Nazis hate each other, they work together, and then they kill each other. The Sunnis and Shiites, they work together when it comes to us, when it comes to the West, and they also kill each other. So that's all. Always keep it in mind and use that. And please use it freely. Don't even give credit. Whenever someone pulls that, bring to mind the Sunnis and Shiites. When it comes to each other, they will kill each other. When it comes to us, they're brothers and sisters. They work together. Um, John says, I hate Hollywood more than I love Superman. That's why I skipped it. The industry is rotten and broken. I get it, but it's still Superman, John. And if you like comics, I would recommend you watch it. I don't get if you love Superman, I don't get why you would skip it. You have a new interpretation of Superman. You have a great actor playing Superman. James Gunn, for all his flaws, makes entertaining, heartfelt movies in a very pop way. He straddles it pretty damn well. So I do recommend it, John. I get it. And I know people also who refuse to see it. I don't know. I just, personally, I know a Superman movie's out there, I'm there. I know a Batman movie's out there, I'm there. But I will not go to certain things. The last few movies of Marvel didn't go. The FF, yeah, I love the FF. I want to see them brought to life, and hopefully in a good way. You know, rotten and broken is an understatement. Yeah, huh, I was trying to be nice. John says, "LOL." Roland K. The first scene showing him as losing a fight is brilliant. Absolutely, he shows a lot of humanity. He gets outsmarted. He gets help, and his weaknesses, both physical and emotional, get exploited. It worked. Absolutely worked. And again, he always gets back in the fray, as he says. No, no four. I got to get back in the fray. You know, there's no hesitation on his part. He doesn't cower. What are we gonna do? No, he keeps fighting, and he does it honestly, directly, and explains why he's doing it and how he's going to do it. He's a great character, Superman, and they really got the spirit of the character. I wasn't sure if Gunn could do it. I wasn't sure if he had the heroic in him, to be blunt, but he did. He did. He stepped up. I think he went beyond himself a little, and he did not undercut it with bad humor unnecessarily at times, the way he's done in the past. He didn't do that here. He understood the job. The job was to make a successful movie to launch the DCU, the new DC universe, and that worked. I don't care what people say. It didn't make as much. Made close to 600. It will pass 600 this week and probably get to 650, probably maybe 700 in the end because it's playing simultaneously now. It's still in the theaters and it's on digital, so um, it is a success, and the reviews are good for all of his work so far. And I'm looking forward to seeing the Batman and his universe interact with the Justice Gang and turn them into the Justice League. Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman, there, Flash, Green Lantern. I'm very much looking forward to it. I think it's a good start, a very good start. We'll see. Flady, hey, have the call tonight. Take care, Flady. Great show. I'll be in the office on Monday, but we'll look for you going live through the day. I appreciate it, man. Thank you very much, Flady. And thanks everyone for being here. We hit the 2 hour mark. Yeah, just hit it. Uh, Guys, if you haven't backed Pigman, I would really appreciate your support. I need your support. Without you, I can't get issue 2 and 3 and 4 and hopefully 5 and 6 out there. Um, so get it, guys. Check out the synopsis up on top. Check out the 9-page preview. And I got Prop Piganda as part of my campaign. I have Table for One, my first book, as part of my campaign. I have 6 covers as of now. I will have a 7th closeout cover on Monday. I'll be streaming tomorrow as well, and Monday. And then got to get it done and fulfill. So far, well, okay, so far Superman made 588. Well, yeah, but by tomorrow they're going to surpass the 600 rolling K, because that's when the weekend numbers come on, the official ones. Check out thenumbers.com. It's a pretty good website in terms of the box office numbers. It's very simple. It doesn't get into the politics and all the bullshit. Boom, here are the numbers. It's called The Numbers. That's a great title. Guys, take care, be well, and again, please consider backing Pigman. I need your support. I want this to be out there. I want to get strong into issue 2. And again, I am counting on word of mouth. Those who have backed it, I think you'll like it. Whatever you, and I will say this, whatever made you back it, I think you'll be getting more than you thought. I will say that. I will say that because that's what I've gotten from readers. That whatever they expected, they got more, and I appreciate that. And that's my hope, that you get more than you got it for, than the reason you backed it, and therefore you spread the word. Word of mouth is what I'm counting on. That's what I'm counting on more than anything I can say. I can tell you, a lot of things, but I'm so close to it. It's like, yeah, I can pitch it, but you guys, I think the best sell is, again, your word of mouth. So hopefully you guys can get other comic skaters out there and give me some support for this, because I want to continue it. It's an important story to tell about this enemy. Seeing them get what they deserve and do it in interesting, entertaining ways. And I appreciate you guys being here. Thank you very much, man. Love the give and take. Thank you very much, guys. You guys take care. Be well. Until next time. Best. I'll see you tomorrow. I will stream tomorrow as well. Take care.